Lord, for your word. And it came to pass, when Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, You know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Then assembled together the chief priests and scribes and elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. And they said, Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. I'll be right back. I'm going to get my drink. My throat is itchy. My Lord, thank you. Alrighty. Back. They said, Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. So they consulted that they might take Jesus subtly and kill him. But they said, Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now, when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head, and he sat down to eat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? This ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. And when Jesus understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble you this woman? For she has wrought a good work on me. For you have the poor always with you, but me you don't have always. For in that she poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Truly, I say unto you, wherever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that woman has done be told for her memorial. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests, and said unto them, What will you give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted, covenanted with him 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray Jesus. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, Where were you that we prepare to eat the Passover? And he said, Go into the city. He said, Go into the city to such a man and say unto him, The master says, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at your house and my disciples, with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now, when the evening was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, Truly I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, who is it? And he answered and said, He that dips his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goes, as it is written unto him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had never been born. Then Judas was betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it? He said unto him, You have said. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it and broke it and gave it to his disciples and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, "Drink you all of it, for this is my blood, New Testament, which is shed for the remission of sins for many. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of the fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." And when they had sung a hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then said Jesus unto them, "All you shall be offended because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee." Peter answered and said unto him, "Though all men shall be offended of you, yet will I never be offended." Jesus said unto him, "That this night, before the cock crow, you shall deny me thrice." Peter said unto him, "Though I should die with you, I deny you." Likewise also said all the disciples. Then comes Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and said unto his disciples, "Sit here while I go and pray yonder." And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then said he unto them, "My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me." And he went a little further, and fell on his face, and prayed, saying, "O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will." And he comes unto his disciples and finds them asleep, and says unto Peter, "What, could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, that you enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." He went away the second time and prayed, saying, "O Father, if this cup may not pass from me, except I drink it, your will be done." And he came and found again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then come to him his disciples, and said unto them, "Sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that does betray me." And while he had spoke, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves, from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, "Whomsoever I shall kiss, the same hold him fast." And with he came to Jesus and said, "Hail, Master," and kissed him. And Jesus said unto him, "Friend, wherefore are you come?" Then came they, laid hands on Jesus, and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand, and drew his sword, and struck a servant of the high priest, and cut off his ear. Then said Jesus unto him, "Put up again your sword in its place, for they that take a sword shall perish with the sword. Think you that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus..." In that same hour Jesus said to the multitudes, "Are you come out against me as a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and you laid no hold on me. But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled." Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. And they that had laid hold on Jesus led away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Jesus, to put him to death. But they found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet they found none. At the last came 2 false witnesses, and said This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days. And the high priest arose and said unto him, Do you answer anything? Nothing? What is it which these witness against you? But Jesus held his peace. The high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure you by the living God that you tell us whether you be the Christ, the Son of God. Jesus said unto him, You have said. Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall you see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest tore his clothes, saying, He has spoken blasphemy. What further have we need of witness? Behold, now you have heard his blasphemy. What do you think? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. They did spit in his face and buffeted him, and others hit him with the palm of their hands, saying, Prophesy unto us, you Christ. Who is he that hit you? Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, You also was with Jesus of Galilee. But he denied him before them all, saying, I know not what you say. And when he was going out into the porch, another maid saw him and said unto them that were there, The fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him the ones that stood by and said, Peter, surely you are one of them, for your speech bewrays you. Then he began to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crowed. And Peter remembered the words Jesus was said unto him, Before the cock crow twice. Before the cock crow, you shall deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. Wow. Peter, don't forget, this ain't the end for Peter. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us? See you to it. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed, and went and hanged himself. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, It is not lawful for to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood. Oh Lord, that's how they do it. And they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers. The field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, And they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord appointed me. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Are you the king of the Jews? And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, Do you hear how many things they witness against you? And he answered to him, Never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. The feast wont to release unto the people prisoner whom they would, and they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will you that I release to you, Barabbas or Jesus, which is called Christ? For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. Envy. When he sat down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have you nothing to do with that just man? For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. Hallelujah. But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Jesus. The governor answered and said unto them, what of the two should I release? They said, Barabbas. Pilate said unto them, what shall I do with Jesus, which is called Christ? They all say to him, let him be crucified. And the governor said, why, what evil has he done? But they cried out the more, saying, let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See you to it. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and our children. Then he released Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the common hall and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. And they stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. And when he had put a plaited crown of thorns, they put it upon his head and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they spit upon him, took the reed and hit him on his head. After they had mocked him, they took the robe off of him and put his own raiment on him and led him away to crucify him. And they came out. They found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. When they would come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, place of a skull, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall. And when he had tasted it thereof, he would not drink. And they crucified him, parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head this accusation, written, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Then were two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand and another on the left. And they passed by reviling, wagging their heads, saying, You that destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you be the Son of God, come down from that cross. Likewise also the chief priests mocking him with the scribes and elders said, He saved others, him he cannot save, if he be the King of Israel. Oh yes, let him come down from that cross. Nope, he loves us. We will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of God. The thieves also crucified with him cast the same in his teeth. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why have you forsaken me? Some of them that stood there when they heard it said, This man calls for Elijah. And immediately one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar, put it on a reed, and gave him a drink. The rest said, let us see whether Elijah come to save him. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil in the temple was ripped from top to bottom in 2 pieces, and the earth did quake, and the rocks cracked, and the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, glory, the graves about after resurrection, and went into the holy city and appeared unto many. Now when the centurion, I got to read that again. And the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose. And they came out of the graves after his resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared unto many. Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, Truly, this was the Son of God. And many women were there beholding afar off which followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering unto him, among which was Mary Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's children. When the evening was come, there was a Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Jesus' disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. When Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out in the rock, cut out in the rock. Oh, hallelujah. And he rolled away the great stone to the door. And he rolled the great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed. And there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre. Now the next day, that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate, saying, Sir, we remember that deceiver said, while he was yet alive, after 3 days I will rise again. Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure the third day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say unto the people, he is risen from the dead. This error shall be worse than the first. Pilate said unto him, You have a watch, go your way, make it as sure as you can. Went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch.